Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about think as a Noahide about natural calamities. And the classes are always on Noahide7commandment.com. You can read there at your leisure, and when you read it on the internet, reading is faster. You don't have to sit an hour to hear a class. You can read it in 20 minutes, and you can have a chance to digest it. So today we are talking about how should Noahide relate to natural calamities. And actually, I was asked last week by someone to talk about it. So let's start with a story. A story that published by, appeared in a book of The Good Earth by Pearl Bach. Is a Chinese farmer, a poor person, and he and his wife till their little field that they have behind their house, and they work hard through the planting season, and they hope that this year they will have a good crop. He also go to the market, purchase a wooden deity, an idol, and place it on a fence of the field. And he and his wife, every morning they take care of the deity. They give it good food. They dress him up in fancy clothes. And they hope that it will happen. The deity will help him to get a good crop. As it turned out, a bad drought struck the area and nothing grew. There was no rain and nothing grew on the field. Complete failure. The poor farmer, getting anger to the fence, takes the deity and throw it out to the trash. It didn't help him. And next year, he's going to purchase another deity, hoping that this one will be more successful. That practice, that Pearl Bach saw it in her own eyes, is a remnant of ancient China. And the belief behind it, of course, is that the world is full of demons and bad spirits that they go around and they cause calamities. Drought, flood, earthquake, maladies, everything bad is done by these demons and bad spirits. And to counter them, we need a stronger deity, a stronger force that will chase them out. So God, that he put on the fence, the deity that he gave it to, he can bribe it, he can please it by giving the deity good food and good dress, and talk to it, sing to it, because the deity, of course, seek glory. A deity like that is a reflection of our own ego. The same thing that we looking for glory and power. So it is God on a fence. So we can bribe him, please him, or please it. So it will provide us with good crop. If he fails, I'll clap my hand. And maybe next time I'll put him on a taller building or give him more food if he have a good crop. On the other hand, if he failed to help us, I'll throw it to the trash. And that approach is also expanded not only to the field, but to maladies. If I have a sick son, if I have a sick father, I put the deity across the sick person. If the deity helps, okay. If not, I'll throw it. So the function of God on that level is to chase out demons and bad spirits. That's how the farmer relates to calamities and a catastrophe in the world around him and in his own life, in his own family, or in a nation. Thousand years pass forward from ancient China and ancient Egypt and the ancient world. This view evolved to become more sophisticated, to the idea that the universe is controlled by a bad God who fight the good God and control the universe. Of course, I'm talking about Gnosticism that reigned supreme, especially in the Roman time, destruction of the temple, Second Temple. Of course, the Romans still believed in their own ancient Olympic god. But in fact, the people on the street and the royalty, they actually tended to believe in the Eastern religion of Zarathustra, of good, that the God, the universe, there is a cosmic struggle between good and bad. So instead of little demons, now we have a big bad, a huge deity, bad God that controls the universe. If you see calamities, if you see earthquake, if you see destructions of tsunamis, if you see wars, everything bad is run and controlled and instigated by this bad God. What about the good God? He's arrested because you don't see it. You look at nature, what you see around you is only destruction, pain, suffering. So the good God is gone. His resurrection, resurrected somehow once a year in springtime, but you quickly is controlled by the bad one and put to rest. One day maybe he will prevail. But that's the view of the universe by the Gnostic religion. So there is a bad God controlling all his calamities and bringing it, making it to happen. In time, this bad God also got other nicknames, like Satan. It's not a Jewish Satan. It's a Gnostic Satan. It's a Greek-Roman Satan. Demon. They tried to fit it into the Jewish Bible, but it's a big mistake. So these satanic and power, Book of Revelation and so on, all that are reflection or expression of this major belief of there is a split between good and bad. And what we see in nature is bad, animals eating each other, death, pain. We see other things, but morality is bad. Creature and people suffer because everything is controlled by the bad God, by the bad deity. Now, Moses, 3,500 years ago, came with a big revolution. Huge change in mind. What he introduced in the Bible is exactly opposing this view. And people are not aware of it. So Moses introduces a new view of natural calamity and suffering. Why is there so much pain and death in nature? And the revolution that Moses introduced is expressed where? In Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Right there. What does it say? It says, the famous verse, at the beginning, not God created the world. Elohim created the heaven and earth. The Hebrew name Elohim is not God. The word God just is express reverence, a powerful entity, God. But Moses was specifically particular about the name of the entity who created the universe. It is called Elohim. Elohim. So the Hebrew Bible says, at the beginning, Elohim, created the heaven and earth. What is Elohim? The Almighty Judge. Wow. And the judge creates something to stand judgment. That's the purpose of creation. to stand judgment. And the judge operates by law and by certain moral code. What is a moral code of the judge by which he created the universe? Look at nature and look at chapter 1. So the universe is run not by a bad deity, but by a judge. Completely different view. There are no bad spirits out there, no demons, nothing but the finger of Elohim. And Elohim has nothing to do with demons and Satans. Elohim is a judge. And he created your universe as you see it to stand judgment. And to stand judgment by complying with the law. How do you see that he is a judge? Very simple. Every day of creation, every day, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at the end of the day, he come and judge the day and say it's good. If it's good, they continue to live and enter the next day. If Elohim, the builder, says it's not good, he will wipe it out. And the judge Elohim operates what is a moral code only by the truth, and only by measure for measure. That the absolute justice, which means in nature, you eat, you're allowed to eat other animals because one day you will be eaten. Absolute justice. That's the moral code under which our universe is built. Especially the animal kingdom. You eat and are being eaten by absolute justice. And there is no room for other moral argument. No mercy. Elohim is not open for mercy. A judge operates by the law, which means when you see animals eating each other, it's not a nice scene, maybe. We'll talk about it. But it's certainly justice. I'll tell you a story just to illustrate it. Years ago, I was watching with my kids. They were like the 8th grade, 7th grade, something like that. We were watching Natural Geographic video that I bought from the library. So we were watching Scene from Nature, beautiful. As we were sitting, my 3 daughters and me, around opposite the TV or the computer that we had, and there is a scene. The camera captured a scene. And I saw that the daughters and me were actually glued to that scene. A tiny snake, green, not so tiny, but moderate snake, was captured by the camera as it came out of a rock where he slept overnight. Now the camera, the snake goes slowly, at leisure to the shore. There is a lake there. And it starts moving along the shore of the lake, looking for food, for breakfast. As it turned out, he passed across of a school of tiny frogs. And he keeps moving, and he swallowed a tiny frog one after the other, insatiably. He is never satisfied. He never stopped. And my daughter said, whoa, this guy is hungry. And you can see actually the bodies of the tiny frog still rolling down into the snake body. He swallowed them, and his muscle contracted and pushed him back, leaving a room for more frog. And he kept eating and eating and eating, moving along the shore. And then, unsuspectedly, he came across of a huge frog, a really big one, that was sitting like a stone statue. She didn't even breathe. She didn't even flick her eye, her brow. And the moderator says, look at the frog. She recognized the snake, and she knows that the snake is sensitive to any movement. The snake doesn't see her. He will see her when she moves. So she stays still, like a stone, not even breathing. And as the snake unsuspectedly keep moving across of her, then when he came too close, in a sweep of a moment, unbelievable speed, the huge frog captured the snake, cut his head off, spit it to the ground, and then turn to the body and swallow the entire body of the snake with the other frog still moving there. Eat and be eaten. So I remember myself jumping in front of my daughter and said, look, there is Elohim here. There is an attribute of justice executing his justice. What a scene. And that's what I mean, that nature is run by the judge, measure for measure, on different levels. So if you see a calamity, if you see a disaster, now, so again, how does Elohim run the universe? By law. The Rambam says, Maimonides says, by the law of nature. It is true that even a leaf fall down because Elohim told it to fall down. But Elohim, he says, didn't tell the leaf, specifically leaf to fall down, but he set up natural law that caused the leaf to fall down. Elohim, the judge, controlled the universe by natural laws. And every creature, including Adam, cannot escape from those laws. So if we are struck with a painful, with a death, or with some calamities in around us or in a family, we don't have to see it as a direct punishment for us, but it is a part of living in Elohim natural universe. Accident, the Rambam says, any accident, any malady has a reason, explained by Elohim law. He argues with Aristoteles. Aristoteles, the Greek, said no, everything in the universe is at random. Rambam says there is no such thing as random. Everything can be explained by natural law. What an insight Rambam had living in 1,000 years ago. As a result of that, for instance, the Rambam instituted preventive medicine. He said every sickness has a cause. Sickness is a catastrophe that hit you. When a catastrophe hit you, malady, you don't have to go and slaughter goats for God. All you need is to go to a doctor who knows the medicine. He will give you medicine and he'll help you. If you stand by the window, he says, you catch a cold. If you stay away from the window, you won't get the cold. You won't get the cold. And this metaphor is true for any sickness, he said. All we need to know, all we need to do is to find the natural law that causes sickness, and we can heal ourselves. And introduced preventive medicine for the first time in human history. And that is true also not only for sickness, but for any bad thing that happened to you. If you knew how to prevent earthquake, it won't happen, so to speak. So he says, if you want to prevent bad things, first of all, you need to learn what causes the bad things. And it's not demon and Satan. It's something natural. The natural law causes that. And you can interfere. So if you don't know yet how to do it, blame yourself. Invest more money in science. For instance, today, had we invested a fraction of our military budget, just a fraction, to cancer research, we would have long found a remedy for cancer. So don't blame Elohim for anything bad that happened to you. It's part for living in his natural law. And don't look for Satan, don't look for demon, okay? That's the Rambam. And it's based on the concept of Elohim, the creator of nature that set up natural laws by which he created the universe. So if a child is dying because of sickness or accident, don't blame Elohim. That's part of living in nature. And don't say that the child is responsible for them, or somebody did some sin, and because of that the child is dead. It's just living, the price of living in Elohim natural world. So you don't have to be heretic when you see children dying. Where is God? God never promised you that you live in his natural world and that children will not die. And the Rami just gave you wisdom to solve it by science, as he told Noah to build the ark in scientific way. Build yourself an ark and save yourself from formalities. Yes, Rambam add, could be that Elohim sometimes tell ahead of time. He want to punish people for something. He is a judge, and he want to exercise retribution. He would then call his prophet, and the prophet would tell people that something bad is coming. So Elohim sometimes intervene in nature or push nature in a way that will cause as a retribution, like say in the Noah flood. But that's the Rambam said, this is very rare, and it doesn't happen to regular life. And if Elohim wanted to do it, he would have sent us a prophet to tell us that since there is no prophecy today, so we just don't even think about it. And to show you this is a halachic approach, because if something bad happened to our family and we lose something very precious to us, we come from the cemetery and we say, blessed be the truthful judge. The truthful judge. We recognize the hand of Hashem. It doesn't mean that the deceased one is a sinner, that the judge killed him. On the contrary, it means that we accept the fact that the Elohim runs the universe according to his law, his will, and everyone deserves death, sooner or later. And the implication of that is that we don't need to blame anyone, and we just need to do everything we can to prevent, to intervene with those natural laws and to use them in our favor. As simple as that. So that's a revolution. The first page of the revolution of Moses introduced. He will tell you more about it. So natural calamities are not caused, I repeat, not caused by demons, and they are not in the hand of a bad deity. Elohim is not bad. To execute justice is not bad. It may be painful, but it's still just. That's completely different look on nature than the agnostic view. There is no evil power whose powers are suffocating, controlling nature. There's no evil here. No, it's justice. Now, let's move on to the second level of Moses' revolution. And this is Judaism, what I'm going to tell you now. Moses is keen to what is happening in people's heart. A mother who holds a dead or the dying baby in her hand. We tell her, bless God, bless, recognize, and bless the Almighty Elohim who is truthful judge. So don't shout. It's a decree by Elohim, not directly at you. It's just a price of living under Elohim universe. That's what we ask her to do this. She is holding the baby. Her lips might say those words, but the heart, you know what's going on in her heart. Why, God, didn't you have mercy on this boy baby? Why didn't you help me? Why? And then she would think, I don't like the whole system of death and pain. Why did you create such a universe? Huh? Why did you create such a universe? Why did you set up such a program? I, as a mother, feel it could be otherwise. I would like to see more compassion here, more mercy. I don't agree with that. She would say in her heart. Come, Moses, and say, this is it. The mother see the universe now with a special glasses, spectacles of not of Elohim, but another attribute of God, the attribute of mercy. How come? Because Moses says mankind is a special creature who is born by the two attributes, not by Elohim alone. We are not just regular creature of Elohim alone, like the ant and the snake. We are not just an extension of them. We harbor in our heart feature of another attribute, not of Elohim, somebody else. And who is that? Wait a minute, I'll show you. Behind me here is a simple diagram of chapter 1. You see that at the beginning, Elohim created day 1, day 2, day 3, day 6 days. And then on the 6th day, he created Adam. But when he created Adam, he participated in another attribute of the called YHVH, the attribute of mercy. She ruled the Sabbath. So when he said in plural, let us make Adam, me and you, the merciful one, make Adam. Now the merciful attribute is completely different moral posture. She doesn't care about the law and about absolute justice. She cares, of course, about mercy, compassion, forgiveness, which has nothing to do with justice. That's her feature. And when the two of them created Adam, Adam therefore perceived Elohim, and he perceived the merciful one also. Because we are built in this way. There is no human being on earth that doesn't have a perception of the merciful attribute in his heart. It can be a very primitive guy, or it can be the top president of a company in Manhattan. No human being without this touch, this basic understanding of what the merciful one is, because we are all built, and by this we differ from all the other creatures. Who are those attributes? They are, you see, the infinite creator has no name. Sometimes he sits on the throne as Elohim, and sometimes he sits on the throne as a merciful one. It's just another attribute of the same infinite. Unlike the Gnostic, we are not talking about two gods, rival gods, not at all. These are two attributes of the same one infinite creator. Now, since Adam can walk around with the spectacles of a merciful one in his heart, on his eyes, so when we look at nature, okay, when we look at nature, we see it not from an Elohim point of view, it's full of justice. No problem here. But when we look at nature, wearing those spectacles of her that she dwell in our heart, the universe from compassion point of view, from she doesn't like pain. She doesn't like, when creatures eat each other, it's an act of justice. But still, it's painful. It's death. And in a Sabbath day, there's no pain and no death. That's a Sabbath day of the future. So the clash, the difference between those two views is not a rivalry between two gods, but it just two different perspectives. And God knows the infinite creator knows that it's very painful, very perplexing for Adam to live in such a universe. It would have been very simple if only Elohim had created us. It would have been just an extension of the snake, of the sniper, of the spiders. We wouldn't have any idea there is something like compassion and mercy. We would just be in a cycle of eat and be eaten with cruelty, with pain. But we wouldn't even think there's something need to be changed. Something can be different. But when we harbor the values of YHVH in our heart, we feel that the universe needs tikkun, correction, along the line of more mercy and more compassion. And that is bewildering. That's challenging. And the mother can feel confused. She may think I badly about her. Oh, I should have accepted the verdict as it is, yet my heart says differently. Moses says, your heart say the real truth, the truth of the merciful one, which is actually supreme over the truth of Elohim. So this approach we should keep in mind when we look at nature. On one hand, we recognize nature there, the powerful law of nature that we need to understand, and we do understand them day by day. Science unravels all kind of mystery of nature we never even dream about. We need to understand nature and use it for our favor. At the same time, we need to understand that this nature needs to be corrected, and one day it will be corrected. Now, let me focus on another point here. When YHVH enter here, the sixth day, she enter here the sixth day to create Adam, okay? When she look at nature, nature is not evil in her heart. She sees in nature a lot of death and pain, but it is as much as it's painful, a lot of pain, but it's not evil. There is no Satan here. It's just Elohim exercising his truthful judgment. And that cannot be evil in their heart. And the animals who run about, they have no free choice. And they eat each other. They do it with no choice. They are told to do that. They are programmed to do it by the law of Elohim. So they are not evil. They execute Elohim justice. But if Adam is running around and be cruel and create the opposite of her. Instead of being merciful and compassionate and forgiving, we do the opposite. We stab each other in the back. We speak bad lies in the back. And we commit all kind of sins. Each sin of the sixth commandment, idolatry, adultery, bloodshed, has a component of some cruelty in it. And when we do it with indifference and to the pain of the other, it's cruelty and indifference. We are evil in our eyes because we have the free will. We should know better. Animals don't have the free will, so they execute whatever they are told. But we have a free will to do the other one. Let me give you a secret. So why Elohim created all the 6 days with these animals? To incorporate them in us. We are the summary of evolution. From a tiny, tiny cell to a big creature, we pass in a uterus all the stages of the evolution. So all these animal features, eating each other, killing each other, it's in us. But we should know better. We should know that we should have the perception of the merciful one and overcome those drives and do what is actually unnatural, to be compassionate. I want to stop here because all my goal today was to talk about the different outlook at nature than the primitive Chinese guy. Chinese is just the story, but it's all over the world. I'm not blaming the Chinese. And the concept, we talk about tremendously important topic. That the universe, that recognition that we are under natural laws, and the fate is in our hand to control it. If you want to overcome cancer, invest in cancer. If you want to prevent cold, don't stay by the window, by the wind, and so on. So when you get catastrophe, God forbid, hit you, and you feel like you don't like the system, and you like to have completely different world, don't feel that you reject God, that you become heretic. And it's not even a reason to become heretic. On the contrary, what Moses is saying, those precious thoughts that you have in your heart, that the universe needs to be corrected, tikkun, to have more mercy in it, more Shekhinah in it, is the reason for giving us the Torah. The Torah is a way to implement that view that we'll see one day more mercy and less judgment. It's possible if we follow the Torah. There is more to talk about it, but that's what the topic I limited myself. Thank you. And if you want to read more, look at Noahide 7 commandment.com. You see all the classes there, including this one. And when you read it, you have more time to digest. And in the next class, you can ask me questions. Thank you for your attention and for being with me.